Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments, the place where we dive into every precious second, every meaningful glance, and every tiny symbol that holds a bigger story. That night, Jin stood on a grand stage for his comeback concert, but the spotlight wasn't his alone. Among the sea of fans, two familiar figures appeared, Jungkook and J-Hope. They laughed, sang, and danced, and for a brief moment, time seemed to stop. Yet behind all the lights and music, there was one small detail that didn't escape the eyes of attentive fans: a ring on Jungkook's finger. That ring wasn't just an accessory. It was like a secret hidden in plain sight. Consistent, never removed, and always in the same place. And that night, under the glow of the stage lights, the ring spoke, without words. Spotlights danced through the air, sweeping across the sea of cheering fans. The sound of excitement echoed endlessly. In the middle of that magnificent stage stood Kim Seokjin, Jin of BTS, his smile impossible to hide. It was his long-awaited return to the music world after his military service, and that night, the stage wasn't his alone. Among thousands of glowing faces, two figures beloved by ARMY stood watching, Jungkook and J-Hope. Their presence wasn't just nostalgia. It was a celebration of wholeness, something that transcended music itself. When Jin invited them onto the stage, the crowd erupted. The three of them sang, danced, and laughed together as if time had never separated them. Their energy blended in a way only those who had shared years of journey could create. That night was more than a concert. It felt like a reunion, a home filled with laughter, music, and memories. ARMY wasn't just witnessing a performance, they were witnessing a bond that still lived and breathed between them. Jin even made room for Jungkook and Hobi to perform their own songs, a subtle yet beautiful act of brotherhood, respect, and shared dreams. But beyond the glittering lights and applause, one thing quietly caught the attention of the most observant fans: the ring on Jungkook's finger. For fans, Jungkook isn't just a symbol of talent and dedication. He's someone known for his attention to detail. He loves body art, tattoos, earrings, bracelets, and of course, rings. But this time, something felt different. The ring on his finger wasn't just an ornament. It was consistent, constant, almost like a part of him. He wore it everywhere, on stage, during live broadcasts, at airports, even at casual events like his close friend's movie premiere. Never removed, never replaced. In the world of fashion, that kind of consistency is never a coincidence. There's always meaning behind it. What intrigued fans even more was the way he moved. On countless occasions, cameras caught Jungkook subtly adjusting the position of the ring, gently, carefully. He would twist it just a little, making sure it sat perfectly in place, as if ensuring that something remained visible. And if you looked closely, there was a pattern impossible to ignore. The ring never covered the small tattooed letters on his left hand, the letters J and M. The ARMY tattoo on Jungkook's hand is familiar to anyone who follows his career, a permanent declaration of love and loyalty to the fandom. But above one of those letters, there's an initial J, which Jungkook once admitted represents himself. Interestingly, the letter J sits directly above the letter S. That arrangement, J over M, has long sparked curiosity since it was first noticed. The placement is too precise to be random. Jungkook could have separated the letters, but instead, he chose to connect them. And ever since, he has made sure that nothing, not even his ring, covers the link between them. There's something soft yet intense about that decision. Because if J only stands for himself, why does he always make sure not to cover M? To some, it may seem like a coincidence. But to those who know Jungkook, how he works, thinks, and expresses himself, every detail on his body tells part of his personal narrative. Jungkook isn't the type to talk much. He expresses through action, gesture, and art. That small motion of adjusting his ring, seemingly trivial, feels almost ritualistic. His way of protecting something precious without explaining it. In the language of symbolism, such acts often represent remembrance, respect, or even a bond quietly kept alive. And in Jungkook's hands, that symbol feels alive. The letters J and M aren't just initials, they're like two halves of a single entity, preserved through time. Those letters, JM, have long been part of Jimin's identity, the bandmate closest to Jungkook since their debut. Jimin signs his works with JM, and that name has become inseparable from his public image. So when the same initials appeared permanently etched on Jungkook's hand, fans couldn't help but notice. Was it a tribute? A dedication? Or simply a symbol only the two of them understand? No one knows for sure. Jungkook never confirmed it, and Jimin never denied it. Yet in every moment they share, on stage or off camera, there's an undeniable connection. Perhaps that's where the allure lies, not in certainty, but in the quiet mystery that keeps people wondering. Jungkook never uses grand words to explain how he feels. He lets symbols speak for him. The ring on his finger, the tattoo on his hand, they seem like parts of a visual language meant for those willing to pay attention. Each time he adjusts his ring to keep the letters beneath visible, it's as if he's saying silently, "This matters to me. Don't let it be hidden." Maybe it's a memory, maybe a promise, or maybe something simpler: gratitude, respect, love. But whatever it is, he guards it with a kind of quiet consistency that can't be faked. Because the things that truly matter are rarely announced. They're protected in silence, through small, repeated gestures filled with meaning. From a fashion standpoint, Jungkook's ring choice also reflects his personality: minimalist yet distinctive, elegant without excess. But beyond aesthetics, his personal style isn't about appearance, it's about authenticity. He chooses items with stories, not decorations, but extensions of his identity. In Eastern culture, especially in Korea, wearing a ring on a particular finger often carries personal meaning rather than fashion. And when Jungkook consistently adjusts his ring so it never covers JM, it feels as though he's writing his own quiet narrative about connection, devotion, and respect for something worth keeping. To the outside world, it might just be a ring. But to those who notice, it's a sentence without words, a poem made of soft, deliberate motion. Amid the roar of concerts, flashes of cameras, and the rush of fame, Jungkook chooses silence as his medium. He doesn't need confirmation or explanation. He simply preserves, calmly, carefully. Perhaps he knows that not everything needs to be declared. Some things are meant to be felt, seen only by those who know how to read the signs. In a world that moves too fast, where everything demands explanation, Jungkook chooses stillness. He lets his small symbols, the tattoos, the ring, the subtle gestures, become his language. To some, it's coincidence. But to those who understand, it's the purest form of honesty, protecting something sacred without ever needing to announce it. That ring isn't just jewelry. It's a sentence without words, a promise without sound, and perhaps Jungkook's quiet way of saying, some things don't need to be explained, they're meant to be felt. Thank you for watching Jikook Moments, where we don't just see what's shown, but explore the meaning beneath it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the stories that make your heart flutter. See you in the next episode, and as always, keep believing in the small signs that hold the biggest meanings.